Hello everyone, welcome to our AnimeCons.com Convention Survival Skills panel. I'm Patrick D, the founder of AnimeCons.com, host of the GB Project.
I'm Elizabeth. I write for AnimeCons.com for both the website and the podcast.
So we wanted to do a panel on convention survival skills. And we assume that a lot of people have been to conventions before. If you haven't, this will be a good help. Even if you have, hopefully there's a few things, a few tips that we can share. I've been to over 75 different conventions.
I feel like 20-something, I think.
20-something. And so...
Not just anime conventions.
And if you have been to a ton, then hopefully you can share some tips with us that we can present in the future or to share with other people in the room.
So, as you all know, going to a convention is not cheap. There's a lot of stuff you have to pay for. There's always a lot of stuff you want to buy. So it's really important to make a budget as early as possible. Like as soon as you decide, hey, I'm going to go to this convention, plan it up now so you can know how much money you need, so you have plenty of time to save up for it. Put some stuff away instead of buying that extra DVD or something. Like, oh, I really need the money to go to ConnectiCon next year or something like that. So there's two things you need and things you want. And you need a badge, you need a way to get there, you need a place to stay, and you need to eat. You really need to eat. And then once you know what you need the money for, then you can determine how much you can spend. So that's dealers room, artist alley, more expensive food, like instead of just getting McDonald's or something like that. And it's really important to have the money first that you need, because come Sunday, you don't have money for food, or you don't have money for a cab ride back to the airport. That's kind of bad if you spend all your money in the dealer's room.
Tips for saving money, of course, pre-register as soon as you can. How many people pre-registered for this convention? All right, usually what I've seen is that between 40 and 60% of convention attendees will pre-register. Lately, I've noticed a lot of conventions seem to get more pre-registrants, and because it's not just happening to one convention, I know Otakon and Anime Boston both experienced this, a rise in pre-registration percentage. I think this is, because it's more than one convention, I think that's more attributed to the economy. If there's a large group, see if you can get a group rate.
Usually like 1 in 10.
Yeah, it's usually around 10. And if you want to get in cheap or free, you can always volunteer. If you want to staff, you'll usually conquer admission. Doug here staffs a lot of cons. Two. That's a lot. And then travel, usually the earlier book, the cheaper the price. With airline travel, booking too early, sometimes you miss out on sales.
My real life job is an executive assistant, so I do a lot of travel planning. And there's generally, it's earlier you book, but I've been at my job for like almost 4 years booking flights, and I cannot figure out how flights work with their prices. So it's really, generally the earlier you book, but.
Actually, my mom heard about this and she checked it out, and I guess it works, but apparently a lot of air flights, like airlines, they put all their flights up, they're like their chick flights or something like that, at like 1 a.m. on Wednesday, and that's like when you can get the cheapest deals.
I'm not at work at 1 a.m.
So I don't know, if you really want
I actually have heard,
I'll
I'll have to look at that, but I've heard like at certain times that's when the price changes.
Them up or something like
Yeah.
that, so you get like the best deals.
Yeah, it's pretty tough for travel. But, look into AAA. If you can't get AAA, you just have to fly. But I've saved a ton of money with AAA at hotels, like not the convention hotels, but if I need to go somewhere else, AAA helps a lot. And it'll definitely earn you back the membership price you pay and then some. And of course, there's always Hotwire and Expedia. Personally, I don't really like using them because I don't like going through a third party, but you can find somebody that's there.
And I actually like using Expedia or Orbitz, and then I'll compare it with the actual airline to see if I can get a cheaper rate from whichever one Orbitz says is cheapest. Hotels, did you
So the hotel rate is usually the cheapest, not always. For here, that was a pretty good hotel rate. It was like 140, which is really good for right next to it. If you go somewhere like use Google Maps or Hotels.com, you can search the area. Again, AAA. We went to ConnectiCon this year, and it's at the new hotel, the Gaylord, and I think it's like $170 a night plus some fees. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna see what else there is. The Radisson across the street with AAA. I got a king suite with a pull-out sofa bed and a full kitchen for like $130 a night with AAA. Like, yeah, I'm booking that right now. And it's refundable. That's like really key with hotels. Is especially if you're not 100% sure you're going to the convention, you can book a hotel room if it's refundable. It might not even charge your card. It'll say it all on the page. It'll say when it's refundable by, it could be the day of, the day before, 3 days before. Make sure you check that in case your plans fell through or you need to change them, because then you can get stuck paying the first night, and it's not a good thing, and it's not easy to get refunded at that point. Some hotels, they will charge you a deposit. Again, just check and read through. So if you're booking with a debit card, make sure you have the money to cover the first night if they're going to be charging you. And it should say so before you, hit the final submit. If it doesn't, then they actually kind of suck. If you're looking outside the hotel rate, the cheapest rate may be a non-refundable rate, so be sure to check that. I would sign up for rewards programs, even if you only go to a hotel once a year. It racks up the points a little bit, and they see that you're a rewards program holder. You might get an amenity, or they might put you in a room faster or something like that.
Yeah, the Sheraton rewards program I love. If I go to a Sheraton on business or something, or just vacation, and because I'm in the program, they'll upgrade me to their club level, which gets me an appetizer in the evening or breakfast in the morning for free, just for having the card. It's great. But they only do that when there are rooms on that level available, but it's so worth it. It's for free. Oh, food. Eat. Easy ways to find out what's near you. The convention website, sometimes they'll have lists. And also, we can just use Google Maps or Yelp. I've got Yelp on my phone here, so check that. Preparing for the con, you did a whole segment on this on the AnimeCons.com podcast.
I did. Well, I did packing.
Yeah, packing, but that's preparing.
Yeah.
But what I usually do is I'll have two lists, and I'll have one of everything I need to do before the con. And as I do the stuff, I'll check it off. So I usually write the list at work. Like, oh yeah, I gotta do this. Fill up gas tank.
You didn't do that.
I made a list. I did make a list. I just didn't do everything.
He did it when we left.
Yeah, I didn't fill up the gas tank before we left, but it was on the list. But at least I didn't forget.
We didn't buy the snacks when we left either.
Yeah. Well, I don't buy much snacks in the hotel. You added that one. But I always make sure the camera's charged and ready to go. Make sure I remember to bring the camera in a couple times. Wasn't on the list. So I make a second list of everything I need to bring with me. So I make one, what I need to do and what I need to bring. And this, I get down to the finite level, like 4 days of clothes. Bathing suit.
If you're a cosplayer, put down every single part of your costume from to this, minute accessories like your gloves and your earrings and your necklaces. Write down, the name, and then say, just start from the top and work your way down. So wig, cap, necklace, jacket, dress. It's really helpful because I've almost forgotten things. I'm like, oh, I need that little detail. It's really important.
Yeah, I always forgot these sunglasses because they were in my other car, and I didn't even think of it. But then I saw it was on the list, but because I hadn't checked that off, it was the only thing I hadn't checked. Oh, I gotta go get those. And some things to always bring with you. You should always be on the list. I'm going to read off all of them, so you can see.
What I want to point out is a list of what you want to buy and what you want to own, because if you go in a dealer's room and like you're looking at manga that's like buy one get one free or some other like really good deal or $5 DVDs, you're looking like, do I already own volume 6 of this or do I not? And I've walked away from the dealer's room and come home and like, oh, I already had volume 6 of Warren High School Host Club. Oops. And they're really hard to get rid of. You have to like sell them and get cheap online just to, or trade them with someone, but it really sucks buying something you already own.
It's a new gift. Now, if you're driving to the convention, sometimes the convention will have a ride share board on their forums. So if you want to look for a ride, even if you have a car, maybe you can offer somebody else a ride, split the costs, split the tolls.
Expensive parking, like
Yeah, sure, split the parking.
the last one, like if you're driving very far, like I'd say like over 100 miles, car places will do it's called like a road trip test or something like that. You bring in your car and you say, hey, I'm driving to like Virginia or something. I have like my car checked out to make sure it's okay, and they do something a little different along the lines of that. And especially get your car checked out if it's been a while, so you don't want to break down. That would really really suck. Make sure you know all these new really stupid baggage fees that airlines have. Like, I'm flying AirTran to go to DragonCon next month, and they charge for the first and the second bag. And I really like bringing 2 bags with me because I have a garment bag for my costumes and my suitcase. But I'm gonna have to put everything in one bag because I don't want to pay $40 extra for my bags. Because that's money that's well spent elsewhere. Every airline, I think, except Southwest, charges for your bags. Plain. And make sure you weigh it. If it's over 50 pounds, they charge you extra, and I think it's a lot. And make sure, see if you can ship stuff. It could be cheaper, especially if it's something like really, really big. And for your carry-on, make sure you have the right liquid sizes and no sharp objects, things like that. Buses and trains, you can find a lot of at AAA rates. They have different baggage allowances sometimes in planes. Definitely want to compare costs. Check out like different times of day might be cheaper. There's like rush hour times, especially with the train, are more expensive. And if you have to transfer, this also applies for flights. Make sure you have enough time in case you get delayed. Because if you, like, I know for flying, like less than an hour is cutting it to a little close for transfers. I don't really know about buses and trains, so it'll take a little more time, but then again, make sure you know how to get from the station to the hotel.
All right, once you get to the convention, ConnectiCon offers a Thursday pickup. I think a lot of conventions, a lot of the larger ones do. Some of the ones that don't, they usually start later on Friday anyway. But if you can get there a day early to pick up your badge, definitely do it because the lines are always short.
Except the we have a line at Otakon. The lines at Otakon on Thursday and then Friday morning to get badges are ridiculous.
But at least if you're doing it on Thursday, you're not missing any programs.
There's still a line at like 10:30. Yeah, there's still a line at 10:30 at night on Thursday. It was ridiculous. I did not wait.
One thing that we did here was we looked at the schedule and highlighted the stuff that we wanted to see. And it's handy for looking at later because you don't have to look for the whole list again. You can just say, oh, I wanted to go to that. The dealer's room, never line up for it. Ever.
Time. Yeah, it's kind of a waste of time, and you know, there's other stuff you can usually do. Skip one for the map of the convention. If there's no map yet on the website for the con, you can go to the location, like the website for the Hartford Convention Center, or the Heinz Convention Center, or the hotel's website. You can look at the floor plan to get a general idea of where things are, and you know where the big rooms are that might have the big events and things like that. So if you, like me, like to plan really, really, really far in advance, you do that all the time.
But on the dealer's room, I mean, I see people waiting in line for an hour or more just to get in there. And then as soon as that line is done, it's just walk in and walk out. You don't have to wait in line. I don't understand why people wait in line They think they're going to walk in and find the thing they've always been looking for. Oh, it's that model Gundam that I've been waiting for and I could only get here. Yeah.
You're thinking of that.
Yeah. And stays on the bright green shirt there. Yeah. Did anybody here wait in line for the dealer's room?
5 minutes.
Good. Oh, you did?
5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
5 minutes? All right, that's not bad. The lines for panels and autographs and other events, different cons handle them differently. Even the same con might handle lines differently for different events. Sometimes, if there's something popular coming up, they'll clear the room before that panel or that event. And you want to make sure that if you want to see that one that's coming up, you don't go into the room before without knowing, oh, they're going to clear it. You get out and there's a huge line that you wouldn't have had, you would have been first in that line. And autograph lines sometimes, because the guest might be popular, they'll have to cut it off at a certain point, or they may use a ticket system. Different cons, I don't think there's any two cons that have the exact same policy, except for the ones that have no policy at all. So familiarize with the convention rules, they usually have a website or the program guide. And this last time we finished, this one, I've had to use this today. I used this within the last hour. Except it was go down to go up, because I was in the hotel, I had to go up to my room. All of them were all full, so I went down from the 3rd floor to the 1st floor, and then just went back up. And I've done the reverse, go up to the top to get one that's going down. Usually checking out. On Sunday, if you're checking out on Sunday, it's going to be horrible. Let me just...
We didn't add this one. Don't overload elevators. Like, I know you all want to get back up to your room or get downstairs really fast. Elevators have a weight limit for a reason, and come Sunday when they don't work, because they got all messed up because too many people are on them and everyone's trying to bring their luggage down, it's not fun. At Aresia, which is a sci-fi con in Cambridge, because they have events that you need the elevator to get to and you only have 3 elevators, they actually have volunteers and staff make sure only 8 people are on the elevator at a time. Yeah, you have to wait longer, but you know, they've been in this hotel for a few years and they always have problems with elevators. And this past year and the year before, all 3 elevators still worked come Sunday when everyone had to bring their crap downstairs to check out. So it, you know, I know you all want to get everywhere fast, but don't break the elevators, please.
Don't party in the elevators.
Don't jump.
Really? A rave elevator? That's not necessary.
Don't push all the buttons.
It's happening this afternoon. Leaving the convention off-site.
Going to the real world.
Yeah, it's scary out there, so don't go alone. If you've got some cosplay that's going to stand out, you might want to change. Like, I could probably get away with this because it's just black and coat. I'd look a little odd, but yeah, it would pass. But if you've got some big, elaborate Gothic Lolita thing, might be good to change. If you've got a bunch of guns hanging off of you.
Your guns.
Yeah, just if you've got a car, put it in the car, put it in your hotel room. Don't carry a gun around the downtown area. And if you're going off-site, when I went to Mackerel years and years ago, I used to take off my badge when I was leaving the convention, and I still do that with the convention, just because I don't want other people around to know, hey, I'm not from this area, I'm a tourist, I'm here for a convention. Because it kind of makes me a target for pickpockets and stuff, so I like to blend in and take a badge out of my pocket. Also, it makes it less likely to fly off in the wind. If you get masks or sunglasses, take them off before you go into business. So, like, I wouldn't walk into a bank, yeah, I want to withdraw some money. Or a restaurant with a big mask on. It's probably not good. The Japanese restaurants, everybody loves to go to Japanese restaurants during AnimeCons. Do it some other time, because everybody else is going to these same restaurants. Find another place to eat and have Japanese after you get home. Because it's just going to be insanely crowded. Fast food also gets crowded, but it moves quickly.
Oh,
so.
line at Subway or Conference at the door.
But how long did you wait in that line at Subway?
Half an hour.
It was only half an hour. How long did you wait in a Japanese restaurant?
Not half an hour.
Longer. Before you go out, leave your stuff that you don't have to bring with you in your car or hotel room, and don't flash the cash.
The supreme rule of conventions.
That was totally necessary.
5, 2, 1. Sometimes you hear 6, 2, 1. Sometimes you hear 4, 2, 1. 4 is a little extreme. So it's 5 hours of sleep and two full meals, not like a dream bar or something. And a shower. And it's not. I mean, you take 5 showers, it's cool, but it's only 5 hours of sleep.
Is this rule applied to one day or 2?
Each day.
Each day.
Yes, not the whole con, each day. Sorry. Yeah. Each day. 5 hours of sleep, 2 full meals, and 1 shower. 1 shower. With soap.
Getting your entire body wet, not just your face. Under the arms.
And then that's the website, and then the podcast is in iTunes. You can also, read today. I've written a bunch of articles and guides for the website on things like booking a hotel room, travel arrangements, packing, tipping. Another one I can't remember. I'm working on one now about food, making sure you eat. I think that's the thing I want to stress the most is make sure you eat. Like you get your convention schedule and you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this, 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 and this. I'm gonna eat at this time, this time, this time. At like 3 separate conventions, I've ended up like dead because I didn't eat enough. At Anime Boston in 2007, I commuted in each day, and one day I ended up in first aid because I couldn't stand up anymore because I hadn't eaten enough. That's like really bad. Drink water too. At ConnectiCon 2 years ago, one night I ended up in the hotel room and having to order expensive room service because I didn't get food and I was dying. And then having to be at ConnectiCon this year. So I don't know. You have to eat, like, and my problem is I have this all this excitement from the convention. I'm gonna do this, this, and this. I want to see my friends here, here, and here. I don't want to have time to eat. I'm in costume. I don't need one in my costume. And then you just forget to eat, and it catches up with you. So thanks for coming, everybody. Check out the podcast and the website and post the forums. And yeah.